Welcome friends, welcome one and all. Blair Ballard, the Bon Vivant, very much at your service. I do hope you're all in fine form. Well, today I'm joined by this man, Gavin James. Well, I say joined by because Gavin's actually always here, because Gavin is my director, cameraman, editor, drone pilot, wingman, you name it, Gavin does it. Well,
anything for a price. Mr.
Exactly. Everyone has their price. Now, you regular viewers might recognise Gavin from the pre-title sequences that we spend an inordinate amount of time and energy and money producing to give that cinematic feel that Gavin has really brought to the channel. Gavin plays M in the pre-title sequences, and that's kind of what we're here today to talk about, isn't it? Because we love your comments and we get messages as well, so thanks. Keep on doing that. If you want any more suggestions for pre-title sequences, do whack them in the comments below, obviously. But we're here because some of you guys have messaged us saying that you think we should put together a compilation of all of our pre-title sequences rolled into one neat little bundle.
There are 10 of them so far.
Oh, crikey. We were looking back over them in the run-up to this filming, and they are epic. They were such fun to make. We do try and basically weave in our favourite scenes from the Bond franchise and make them relevant, tweaked slightly, and for comic value as well, tweaked slightly to sort of make them relevant for the actual main piece we're going to be doing. Anyway, we do spend a lot of time and energy on them, and you guys appreciate that, and I think we do produce something that's a bit different, don't we, for the Bond community?
I'm amazed by your creativity with them, just all through. I remember watching at the very beginning, you put out a little teaser saying, I'm going to make a channel about Bond stuff, and I thought, I need to get involved with that. That good old Blair, we can have some fun, and you have not disappointed.
Well, it's, to be honest, my first couple of videos before the BG, before Gavin, part of my channel career, it was all over the shop, really, sometimes, because if you're filming yourself, you're concentrating on producing the content for the camera, but also worrying about the tech side of things. You know, and case in point, I did a video reviewing the Matera jacket for Connolly, and had this amazing long monologue, this 6-minute long piece to camera, and it took me like, I don't know, 8 or 10 times to get it right because there was car noise outside and all this kind of stuff. And I hit go, and I finally nailed it, and it's like 6 minutes, and then I checked the footage afterwards, and the camera had run out of batteries. You know, after 2 minutes, I was like talking to nothing for 4 minutes. So having Gavin on board, who looks after the lighting, the sound levels, to making sure everything's in focus, making sure everything's, you know, basically looking pucker and cinematic. So it means I can concentrate on talking to you guys through the camera and not worrying about stuff going wrong. So it's been invaluable. And I think it shows when you see the videos. So with that in mind, we originally thought, okay, we'll put them all the videos together in one long cinematic kind of mini film. But then we thought, why don't we actually basically review our pre-title sequences and explain the kind of ideas behind why we chose specific scenes, any problems and hiccups we had while filming, the story behind the different sequences.
They take quite a bit of work, quite a lot of planning. There's obviously the script to consider, and you're always referencing films, and you want to make it relevant to the video that we're about to make, which you do a fantastic job at. And it doesn't always go to plan, does it? Let's face it.
No, absolutely. And we've had run-ins with the police.
Actually,
we've had
that later.
Yeah, a bit of that later on. But the main thing is that we do try and make it fun, and we do try and take our favourite scenes, as we say, and pay decent homage to them, tweak them slightly. But you guys are Bond fans, and you know those scenes. And so when I'm doing a Brosnan accent, I want to get it right, or the actual kind of Roger Moore scene, we want to get the kind of shots in the right order and the right kind of lighting and everything else. So anyway, without further ado, the first film we did, wasn't it, when you came on board of the first collaboration, was for James Bond's glove maker, Dents. Now, for that film, we filmed the beginning, we filmed it all here, didn't we, in my house.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to live in the country. We've got a bit of a driveway and stuff. Now, we wanted to put in a antagonist. I'm 009. The reason I'm 009 is because one of the guys who did the props for the Bond films actually had access to the MI6 SIS badges that were made for the film, and he makes them for you as well. So I'm actually 009. I've always been 009 for many, many years. But we needed to have a kind of baddie. Now, we chose Kropotkin. Now, do you know why I chose Kropotkin?
No, it's always a mystery. But he works perfectly.
But it's actually
Poor
come
chap.
full circle. Poor guy. For Jack, yeah. Basically, there was a TV show called the imaginatively titled Punt and Dennis Show. It was comic sketches, and they had one kind of like recurring kind of thing going on about a kind of washed-up spy, and it was called A Man Called Martin, and it's actually played by Hugh Dennis, who was in
Absolutely.
No Time to Die. He was the scientist, the lab guy who was coerced into helping give the Heracles virus to Denchik. I mean, it was like, it was Tovaldo. It was, Anyway, that's Hugh Dennis, and he was originally this guy, man called Martin. He's always like, damn you, Kropotkin. So that's where Kropotkin came in, just to fill you guys into why we chose certain things. So we wanted to introduce the idea of a character, a bad guy called Kropotkin, but then we also have the scene in the M's office. We always try and do the M's office scene as well. You do a brilliant job
It's
of doing
the
it.
mission briefing, isn't
Exactly, and it sets up the main feature. So we have pre-title, that's in the Bond films, we have pre-titles, then our titles, the titles music, which I love, and then we go into the actual main film. Now for Dents, we did the outdoor bit with me playing Kropotkin for the one and only time, because afterwards my son Jack plays Kropotkin. And then me herring off in my car. Then we have our scene here. Now we also, if you watch the video at the end, you'll see me getting into a rather tasty Aston Martin Lagonda, which is actually owned by Mr. Yentop, who's the owner of the company of Dents. He's actually the brother of Alan Yentop, who's the creative and BBC journalist and creative director at BBC for a long time. Anyway, without further ado, let's get stuck into the first pre-titles. Hope you enjoy.
Ballard, thank you for coming in, and I'm glad to see that you've dispensed with the pleasantries with Moneypenny. Now here's your next assignment. It's Operation Shatterhand. But tell me, what exactly happened in Zagreb?
You know what happened in Zagreb, sir. Kropotkin got away and he's taken the files with him.
You mean to say this operation is dead in the water before we've even started?
Not necessarily, sir. Kropotkin did drop this glove while he made his escape. I asked Q Branch to have a look at it. They've tracked it down to a company based in the west of England called Dents. They've been going since 1777. They're about 2 hours west of London. It's a small lead, but it's the best we've got.
It's good, Ballard, it's good. Go and see what you can dig up on them, but tread carefully.
Yes, sir.
And Blair, be careful. There's a global pandemic out there.
I'm always careful, sir.
Company car. Perks of the job. That was, it was great fun. Our first effort, it wasn't bad, I think. We did a good job.
Absolutely. It was quite hard, wasn't it? And you, harsh taskmaster, right, I want a gun barrel at the front of every video. I want to be Bond in the gun barrel.
Do you know how difficult it is to do a gun barrel? You need to have a really wide shot with a blank wall and get the time. It was hard. It was a difficult one to do.
Yeah, on the background piece of paper with you turning at the end to shoot, and it was all falling down. Yeah, fun, but it works.
It works well.
Okay.
Eagle-eyed viewers will note that I'm wearing the kind of basic outfit that Daniel Craig wears in Solden in Spectre. You know, the kind of Tom Ford jacket, sort of blouson thing, the ski jacket and trousers, the boots as well. Also, you can see the barrels outside. They were from Tomorrow Never Dies. One of the Brosnan films. You can see the mazout, the oil barrels. It's in Zukovsky's Caviar Factory, the ones that exploded. You know, when he's with the BMW Z8. Just if you want to see that, and also Operation Shatterhand. Shatterhand obviously refers back to You Only Live Twice from the novels. It was going to be potentially the name of the No Time to Die, but in the British audiences, Shatterhand has completely different meaning. And
there are connotations, aren't there?
There are connotations. Anyway, next up, what did we do next? We
went off to London, didn't we? You called me up saying, I've got a hot date with Turnbull and Asser.
Oh, that was a great day. Now, this was... pandemic was starting to kick in as well, so it was all very kind of like we had to be really quick to do stuff and social distancing and so on and so forth as well. But for the pre-titles bit, I've always wanted to do that because there was no gun barrel for Skyfall. They had the corridor, didn't they, with Daniel Craig, and I wanted to get, you did it brilliantly, the blurring background and me walking into focus. And then we kind of...
It was the golden tie, wasn't it?
Golden tie as well. So I kind of spliced that together in the script with GoldenEye. And because I always wanted to do that Brosnan, you don't ask for the keys to the bomb, you need the access codes. I've always wanted to get something, that squeezed in, shoehorned in somewhere. So anyway, let's watch the video and we'll have a quick chat about it afterwards. Enjoy.
It's cold. I can reheat it.
We don't have the time.
I can microwave it.
Ballard, where's the hard drive?
It's here. We've got an agent down. Kropotkin's gone. Wait. There's something else.
Ballard. Well done in securing the hard drive. Now, what's this I hear about you seeing a ghost?
Yes, I found this in 004's hand. It doesn't make any sense. It belongs to that sexist, misogynist dinosaur, that relic of the Cold War from 25 years ago. It's a scrap of the golden tie. It was last seen in Hamburg in 1997.
Could it have been dropped by the wardrobe department?
No. I know the Eon failsafes. You don't just go and ask for the keys to the costume archive, you need the access codes. No, this had to come from the manufacturer.
Yes, it belongs to one of your predecessors.
Brosnan.
We've had the analysts look at it and we've pulled the files on anyone who could have made this swatch. Top name on the list is an old friend of yours, I understand.
Turnbull and Asser.
There was a rumour that Turnbull and Asser are working on a new James Bond collection. But our analysts concluded that they don't have the time or the resources for such a project.
The same analysts who said the golden tie didn't exist, that Turnbull and Asser didn't have the resources or time to produce the collection?
Not quite, Ballard. If you think I don't have the balls to send a man out to buy, your instincts are quite wrong. I've no compunction about sending you to London, but I won't do it on a whim. Even with your cavalier attitude to the Bond lifestyle. Now, we have a contact embedded at Turnbull's.
Cook. James Cook. He's good, even by my standards.
I want you to visit Turnbull and Asser. I want you to find the golden tie, find out if there is a new collection, but I don't want you going off on some kind of spending spree.
But the ties make great Christmas presents.
You're taking the company credit card.
Numbers never were my strong suit, sir.
Oh, and Ballard.
Sir?
Bring me back a tie.
Sir.
I think we captured both the Skyfall bit, which I love. I mean, I do love that gun barrel, not gun barrel, and then sort of that scene, that opening scene, you know, when we first see Bond, and then you got the Ronson 004 played by my son Jack for the first time. He's getting really good at the acting side of things, but then we go to the office afterwards and we get the references. I kind of like almost did it line by line and trying to see how we could tweak it. That interaction between Brosnan and Judi Dench was. You know,
I love it. With what's the line about sending you out to buy?
Oh yeah, good. I won't do it on a whim. I was so insistent that you got that in for the whim, just because that's what.
A tough taskmaster again. But that opening shot, I love it. That worked really well. That you keep on using this idea of cinematic. You want it to be cinematic, and that really works, doesn't it? And as you approach the camera and you come into focus, and it's just cool.
That was brilliant. And I also managed to get a Roger Moore intonation as well. You know, he's good even by my standards. Yeah. You know that from Man with the Golden Gun when he's pretending to be Scaramanga and talking about. James Bond. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm so rubbish at learning my lines. And the first one, it was mainly you talking. But then this PTS, I had so many lines. And having learnt from the previous one, where I kept on giggling, 1,000 takes of that last line about, be careful, there's a global pandemic out there. Nervous giggle. We didn't quite know what was about to hit the world.
Yeah, exactly.
But so this time, if you look carefully, you can see that I've actually got my lines open, the script.
No, it's a file. It's an operation file.
It's an operation.
But we got there. We got there in the end. But then everything shut down for the pandemic. We couldn't do any movement. Everyone was confined to quarters really. So it was 6 or 7 months at least before we could shoot the next one, which was part 2, because we were actually involved. Me and another colleague as well. We were involved in the collection at Turnbull, a James Bond collection. We were involved in the ties. We tracked down 3 ties, and they were replicated by Turnbull and Asser. So we felt quite invested in it. It was quite nice to see how the progress had come on, and the collection had sold for Christmas as well.
And of course, you were measured up in the first one for some shirts. So we had to go back, lucky chap, and pick up your shirts.
They're beautiful shirts, especially that French blue one. It's just epic. But for this next one, we'll watch it and then we'll talk about it afterwards. But look out for the bit with the horses, the policeman on the horses. That was just classic. But, padding around London in my pyjamas, echoing Brosnan.
You fitted in perfectly with all the weirdos walking the streets.
Well, I can't understand. What's so funny is that in London, we were in St James's, around by Turnbull and Asser, and I'm there doing my Brosnan, who's just jumped off the hospital ship in Hong Kong Harbour, echoing that. Because my main thing was I wanted to get that David Arnold Bond theme he did, which I think is the best modern version of the Bond riff that he used in the emergency escape scene. I've always wanted to find a scene to try to shoehorn a scene that we can use that, and then we can use the hospital scene, because one of the ties that we introduced into the collection was the Ruby Eon tie, the red tie that he wears after he's come out the water and he's gone into the hotel and got changed and shaved, and that's one of the ties he wears there for the Ruby Eon hotel. So it all kind of linked in. That's where I went, okay, we can do the hospital ship, emergency room escape, into the hotel, but actually into Turnbull and Asser. They were such good sports.
Oh, they're amazing.
Especially the poor secretary.
Let's watch it.
Okay, let's watch, and we'll talk about it afterwards, okay?
Cool.
Enjoy.
Previously on the Bond Vivant. The following flashback took place pre-lockdown on October 31st, 2020. Events occurred in a surreal time. When 004 is killed by Nemesis Kropotkin, Agent Blair Ballard is tasked with finding the source of the golden tie, a relic of the Cold War and a sexist, misogynist dinosaur. His search leads him to Jermyn Street, London, England, home to Turnbull and Asser, the world's finest shirt maker, and their new James Bond collection. His contact, James Cook, a veteran of the Bond movies, guides him through the latest assets, ties, shirts, and materials. Schematics are downloaded. 2 shirts are commissioned, a cream Sea Island cotton Oxford from Tomorrow Never Dies, and a French blue from The World Is Not Enough. But before he can return to complete his mission and try on the shirts, England goes into 2 total lockdowns. Ballard is forced to drop off the grid and live as a renegade. The following takes place on May 18th, 2021, events occur post-lockdown in an unreal time.
I'm checking out.
Your hatch raised the collection. Would you like to pop back when you've got more clothes on?
Mr. Ballard, so good to see you. It's been a long time.
Mr. Cook,
Been busy, have we, Mr. Ballard?
just surviving, Mr. Cook. Just surviving.
That was, ballsy is one way of putting it. We did really up the production values. Yeah, you were going to say that. You mentioned that as we were watching, didn't you?
Absolutely. That I think, we're getting into it now, aren't
Yeah.
we? This is the
Getting to our
third one
stroke.
we've done.
Yeah.
And really planning the pre-production that we do for these videos is getting better and better. We've invested in a bit of kit. There was the gimbal for nice smooth tracking shots, walking around London. And yeah, I think it's beginning to show, isn't it? The polish is getting nice and shiny.
I do keep making life hard for you, though. I mean, I wanted to get previously on the Barn Vivant, I wanted to do a 24 homage as well to kind of do a catch up because it had been 6 months. And so that was tricky for you to do.
I'm no graphic artist.
But it's brilliant. It looks
but
absolutely
it kind of
perfect.
worked, didn't it? The miracle of YouTube.
And then
that I found a
James
great
Cook,
thing,
and then freeze frame. It was just spot on.
And good old James Cook. What a sport.
Legend. And the receptionist was brilliant as well. I mean,
They were up for it, weren't they? They just enjoyed it. And
Turnbull
it's
and
fun.
Acid, not only James Bond's shirt maker, but also the Prince of Wales' shirt maker. You think really stuffy, they wouldn't yet. But there I am wearing my pajamas with open top. No problem at all. Really great fun. And also the cameo from James Hagan from Lock
from
&
Lock
Co.
& Co,
Hatters.
yeah.
Our friend's brilliant. Absolute legend. He was great fun to want to chip in as well. But it's the bit we waited for the horses. Because we saw the mounted, the police horses. We saw them in the distance. We thought, just keep the camera rolling, we'll see what happens. And there I am standing by the pedestrian crossing, and they stop by the pedestrian crossing and looking you up and down and go, "You okay? You all right?" And I went, "Yeah, no worries." Brilliant stuff. And also,
So then, I mean, moving on to the next one, you thought that was all going well and that we'd peaked. No way. You came up with the idea of all ideas with the cars.
Oh,
the
I mean,
Lotus cars.
I'm a Roger Moore fan. I think, as I said in the video, in the actual main video, your favourite Bond is usually the one you grew up with, and for me that was Roger Moore. And
Same.
Lotus, Lotus Esprits were our cars. Now I'm on Lotus forums on Facebook and other social media, and I knew of this guy who'd amazing guy. He's a pilot called Fabian Steele. I mean, could you not think of a cooler name? What a great guy as well. But he had produced this amazing, for your eyes only, Copperfire metallic screen accurate with the skis and everything else, Lotus Esprit Turbo. Now, I reached out to him and said, you know, would you be up for filming? Could we do a short film on your car? And he goes, yeah, absolutely. I've got a white Spy Love Me Lotus as well. Would you like me to bring that along? I said, love you, right? Yeah. And then that kind of steam. Originally, it was going to be a For Your Eyes Only special with the 2CV as well. But then it kind of snowballed as we got 3 Lotuses and we got the 2CV.
The 2CV, of course.
And I thought, let's go somewhere really cool for this. So, thinking of Casino Royale, I thought, okay, we can do the airport, you know, scene. So we go to Top Gear, the Top Gear test track, and we filmed there.
On the hottest
day of the year.
Of the year, if not the decade.
I know, and it was like, Lotus Esprits are, you know, very fragile creatures. Their engines are right behind you as well. It's mid-engine, but there's no air conditioning. So the engine's right there and it's really overheating and really overheating you. So we had to keep the cars rolling and moving so that the air could get through the cool air could get through the engine on the hottest day of the year. We had to change the dates a couple of times because one day was raining. Yeah. We couldn't get people together at the same time. You'll notice as well in the background you'll see the plane, the jumbo jet. We can't talk about that. It's but yeah, see if you spot the plane in the background where you think it comes from. Yeah. But anyway, we really upped the ante this time because we had you with the drones. We had drone shots. And then for the pre-titles, you'll see we weave it into the Spy Love Me clips with the
chase. The chase. I remember I was walking the dogs in the forest, my most creative moments, and had thought, hey, how about if we cut together you in the car with that chase, with the helicopter and everything. And it worked, thankfully. We got the shots. If you watch though, a little spoiler, look for one of the shots of the cars as it's being fired on by the helicopter, the special effects. We're up in the special effects the whole time as well. And this one has got various bits and pieces. But just look at the number plates. You might notice something a little bit.
Okay. It's great because I get the chance to be in the car with Barbara Bach, you know, Triple X Agent of Massivo, which is great. And then we also get the bits with Naomi as well, the helicopter she's doing, the kind of like, I just think that's a sex bit when she kind of goes, and then just strafes me with a machine guns. But let's watch it, and then we'll have a few more chats about it afterwards, okay? Cool. Enjoy.
Look what Q's brought us. Isn't it nice?
Right, now pay attention, Ballard. I want you to take great care of this equipment. There are 1 or 2 rather special accessories.
All right, Q. Have I ever let you down?
Frequently.
That was what a day. That will go down as one of my best days of my entire life.
I just remember turning up, we were waiting for them to appear, and a white Lotus comes around the corner, and it's just like, I've woken up in a dream. This is a childhood dream.
I mean, the copper fire metallic, especially, that's my dream car. And there's a photo of me when I was a kid, in a car, same colour, dreaming of that particular day. I mean, it's utterly amazing. So I'd like to say, again, a huge thank you to Fabian and Andy and to Justin for bringing their cars along. It was just perfect for me.
I think they were almost having as much fun as us, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Weren't they? They were dead keen to just power up and down
rag
that
the nuts
track
off their cars on the Top Gear test track. I mean, what a day.
It was tough, though. I mean, thankfully, we did a lot of practice beforehand. We went to a local airfield.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was in the boot of your car,
doing
hanging on for
shots and
dear
stuff,
life, hanging onto the camera to get all those rolling shots.
So you're like a gunner placement, weren't you?
Practiced.
Yeah, well, the photograph of you sitting there was like, rear gunner, weren't you?
Yeah. But it worked, and I think we got the shots.
We did, but the drone shots really worked so well in that, and being able to cut it into things, and the bit when I'm mimicking, can you swim? And then that was just perfect, absolutely. And then dropping the fish out the window, it was just everything worked so well for that day, and it will, I think it's one of my favourites, really.
Absolutely, and I mean, it was tough though. The heat of that day in the cars, and the cameras were overheating. I don't want to go into that Canon discussion about overheating cameras, but I discovered that they don't like hot days, and so we just have to put it down, put it in the shade for
wait
10,
and
15
cars
minutes.
cool down as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it was on edge.
Yeah.
And some of those shots we had to get it in one take, didn't we?
Yeah, because the track, we only had a certain amount of track time.
Well, you doubled up, didn't you?
Yeah,
that we booked it for an amount of time, and we were halfway through. So you called them up and said, "Can we keep going?"
And they were great. The guys at Top Gear Test Track in Dunsfold
blew the budget, but what good film doesn't blow the budget?
Well, exactly. It was quite an expensive day, but I mean, for what we got, I think it really was worth money. Next up, now we were really lucky enough. I was lucky enough. One of the subscribers, in fact, got in touch with me and said, "Look, I've got this ticket for this advanced screening for No Time to Die." And Peel would put this special screening on in the Olympic Studios, in Barnes, the Olympic Studios cinema. It was, what a day. I mean, that was so cool.
Well, you called me up at the last moment.
Yeah,
on the day, saying, "Hey, Gav, I've got a spare ticket. Do you want to come?" I was like, let me think about that. I've thought about it, to quote a line from the previous one.
Yeah.
Yes, please. And thank goodness I did. It was so good to see it before it was out in the cinemas. What an evening.
And we arrived, came in an Aston Martin DB5 continuation, and then I left in Nomi's actual DBS Superleggera from the film. Yeah. But for the pre-title sequence, again, one of my favourite scenes. This is actually the N. Peel kit from Goldfinger, the laser table scene. Again, absolutely wanted to have a go at doing that. And I think we did a good job, didn't we, Dion?
Yeah, I mean, you were fantastic. Unfortunately, Goldfinger is more Shake Goldfinger, I think. The accent that I managed to pluck up is not quite the German.
James Bond movie. Yes. That's a spicy meatball. But yeah, having the scene with the laser, singeing my family jewels.
The effects packages coming in ever more.
Yeah, we have to keep spending money on new effects and stuff. So, but we have to. It's a good test bed for them as well. It's good fun to do.
Great.
Anyway, look. Here we go. Hope you enjoy, and we'll have a chat about it afterwards.
Good evening, 009.
My name is Blair Ballard.
And members of your curious profession are few in number. You have been recognized, let's say, by one of your opposite numbers, who is also on YouTube. And that interesting car of yours. I, too, have a new toy, but considerably more practical. You are looking at an industrial laser which emits an extraordinary light not to be found in nature. It can project a spot on the moon, or at closer range cut through solid metal. I will show you. I have here your ticket to the exclusive advanced screening of the latest Bond movie. These tickets are like gold, Mr. Ballard. For the last year and a half, I've been waiting to see this movie, but the pandemic has caused chaos. I welcome any enterprise that increases my chances of seeing this film.
Okay, Goldfinger, you've made your point. Thanks for the demonstration.
Choose your next witticism carefully, Mr. Ballard. It may be your last. The purpose of our two previous encounters is now very clear to me. I do not intend to be distracted by another. I am off to the cinema. Good night, Mr. Ballard.
What do you expect me to watch, Goldfinger? Goldfinger?
No, Mr. Ballard. Watch No Time to Die. There is nothing you can talk to me about that I don't already know from the endless trailers.
You're forgetting one thing. If I don't turn up to the advanced screening, 008 will take my seat.
Well, I hope that he will enjoy the film more than you will, watching reruns of Quantum of Solace at home in your underpants.
But he knows the plot summary.
He knows nothing, Mr. Ballard. Just a few misleading spoilers from Screen Rant.
A female 007, for instance?
2 words you may have overheard, Mr. Ballard, that cannot mean anything to you or anyone in your organization.
Can you afford to take that chance? Now switch off this bloody laser. You're singeing the family jewels.
You're right, Mr. Ballard. You are worth more to me alive. Now take this ticket and enjoy the preview.
That bit at the end when I turn to camera and you freeze frame, it just reminds me of Sean Connery in Never Say Never Again, the last bit. I know he winks, but I didn't wink, but it was like that, turn to camera and raise the eyebrow. As it was great fun, and you know, singeing the family jewels as well. And you know, no, watch No Time to Die. It's like we try and pay homage to the actual scene we love, but also tweak it and make it for comic value as well. So I hope you appreciate that. If you have, or you have any ideas about any other scenes you'd like us to do, please do put some comments in the comments below, and we'll see what we can weave in. And do remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you do enjoy the videos. And anyway, what's next? We went to the auction, didn't we? We were tracking down.
Absolutely, it's Eubanks, isn't it?
Eubanks auction. We went to go and find because there was a ST Studios attaché case going under the hammer amongst other great Bond lots, which we had a look at as well. But my first, when I was writing the script, I thought, okay, auction. What's the famous auction scene in Bond films? It's obviously Octopussy.
Exactly,
so I thought we would,
egg.
Yeah, the egg, the Fabergé egg. So I thought we would do a riff on that. Have my son Jack being 00. I think he's 00.
He's 008, isn't he?
008 in this one, yeah.
Yeah.
And we got the drone up again. Had some great tracking shots of Jack running, being chased. And then he just manages to make it to the doorstep, and then you come out. And so it's a bit like the ambassador's residence, the British ambassador's residence in Berlin.
Exactly.
Just make it to the, and then we go and cut into the M scene.
Yes.
Which was great fun to do as well. Because again, we try and do it, take each line from that particular scene.
And twist it to our advantage, should we say.
Yeah, it's great. But anyway, I hope you enjoy, and we'll have a chat about it afterwards.
Good morning, 009.
Morning, sir.
Do you know what this is?
Well, it looks like a From Russia with Love attaché case from SD Studios, created by Steve Dimzo of SD Studios, fully sanctioned by Ian Productions. They're priceless and extremely rare.
Top marks, 009.
Thank you, sir.
Except this is a fake. I mean, just look at that sticker. Now, here's a real one. It's being auctioned at Eubank's auction house in Surrey. It's the 4th attaché case to come up for sale this year, and from none of the usual sources. Anonymous seller, numbered Swiss bank account. I would say the vendor is a Bond fan. And then this turns up, a dodgy forgery. Now, if it's Spectre, it could be an effort to raise currency to finance covert missions abroad or for payoffs. Either way, you need to find out what they're up to.
Yes, sir.
Now, eyes only, 009. Operation Trove. You'll be replacing 008, who turned up dead on my doorstep with this case in his hand. I'll alert our man at Eubanks, Alistair McRae, to keep the real case under surveillance. Now, book yourself on the next train to Surrey.
Ah, well, I've got 55 minutes to catch that train, sir.
Ballard,
Yes, sir?
sign a chit for that dodgy case before you leave the building. It's government property now.
Yes, sir.
Jack in that. He
My
nails
son
it
is
in the
just-
beginning, doesn't
He's just
he?
that worried look on his face, and he dies very well. He does. Lots of you commented about that. Putting my poor teenage son through
He
killing
gets
him
it
on
every time,
He
doesn't
does.
Poor old
It does pop his clogs.
Kropotkin, 008, you name it, he's dying.
He's gonna, but he does really well. And love again. We had another great drone shot tracking through the
That was
forest.
all inspired. We'd just been to see No Time to Die,
Yeah.
and that opening shot where it's looking down in the
That's
Norwegian
right.
forest, that inspired me to go with that drone shot at the beginning.
I love the shot when he's actually aiming through that gap in the trees.
Exactly,
That's just
exactly.
brilliant. And then the scene with M in the office, again, that was very closely followed the scene, obviously, in Octopussy itself.
But we're upping the game a little bit. The production value is increasing. We've got 2 cameras rolling at the same time. We've kind of mastered that, syncing them up afterwards in post, and that really adds to it, doesn't it? It makes it look ever more like a film.
Which is what
Filmmaking.
we do. I know, we don't produce as much content as some other channels, but we try to invest a lot of energy and blood, sweat, and tears into the ones we do to give you that kind of cinematic feel that hopefully it shows on screen. I think it's
Quality over quantity.
well
as they say.
quite. Now, what was next? Next was
We stuck with more auctions,
more auctions.
didn't we?
Yes, of course. We went to the prop store auction. That was an amazing day. Seeing Sean Connery's actual suit from You Only Live Twice.
You should have bid for it. It never even sold.
no,
I can't
it was
believe
40
it.
grand opening bid and nobody,
I was tempted. I was tempted. It's smart.
yeah.
But he's taller than me.
He's taller than me and he's got a bit more of a barrel chest. Mine's mine's a keg. I've got But it was a great day. If you haven't seen the video, do check it out. Put a link put a link for all the videos in the description below. But that was a great day. But the opening scene, the
We
pre-titles,
went with the From Russia with Love.
we kind of copied it virtually shot
the
by shot,
opening
didn't we?
scene of that, didn't we?
We were so lucky though because one of our neighbours owns an amazing house, and we asked them if they would very nicely let
and
us-
the grounds.
and the grounds,
So,
more
all
importantly.
shot in the grounds of this
At
fantastic
night.
place.
And so that was my
That was a
touch
challenge.
on. That was a challenge, trying to get the lighting right, and shooting that again with my son Jack as Kropotkin in a mask this time. But we tried to track each shot and the footsteps and I did remember one thing though. We'll talk about it afterwards maybe. Yeah, a bit with the bird action.
Well, it's become known between us as the Owl Sanctuary video. We'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that,
Let's
yeah,
watch
exactly.
it and see if you can work out
But
why.
yeah, but the fact is, we managed to get the lights on at exactly the right moment. The owner of the house said, "When we do this, you've got to put the lights on." And then we had the scene afterwards with the cats in my where I'm playing.
Never work with children and animals.
Oh my god, I have two cats, beautiful. One's an Aussie cat and one is a savannah cat, and they're both gorgeous, and they're normally really just lazing around the whole time. But that particular day, that particular night, they were both knackered and really grumpy, so they wouldn't sit still. So I'm like holding on and like giving treats in my hand to make them sort of
Good thing is though, we get a beautiful
end,
as he jumps off, so that works.
Now. Love it. Anyway, let's watch.
Let's go.
Exactly 1 minute 52 seconds. That's excellent. Your training is complete, Kropotkin. And now a more pressing matter has come to my attention. It seems that Spectre number 3, the Countess Lisa von Bismarck, has been seduced by your nemesis, British Secret Service agent 009 Blair Ballard, and she has defected to British intelligence. The tracker located in her Spectre ring has been activated, and it appears that it is now to be sold to the highest bidder. It has been sold by auction at the prop store. All the resources of Spectre are at your disposal, but we must have the ring back in our possession at all costs. It contains information vital to the operation. Anyone who's been in contact with the ring has to be eliminated immediately. And as for the treacherous number 3 and her lover Blair Ballard, a termination order has been issued and they must be liquidated with extreme prejudice. We know that Ballard will be at the auction, so it seems that your wish for an opportunity to kill your nemesis 009 has been granted. Kill Ballard, now!
I overdid the owls. You wanted owls.
I said, could be a few owls in there, and you were just, okay, all owls. we need more owls.
Multiple species as well. If you notice
the
different calls.
Barn owls, tawny owls.
I think we've got the Eurasian long-eared owl.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
He's a rare beast. Yes, not in that garden, though.
Not in this part of the world.
It was such good fun. And,
I love that shot. That shot of you're behind the garden ornament and you come out of the shadows.
Oh, and the shadows come and
we're getting cinematic. That corny phrase, cinematic. But that's what we're aiming for.
Does look. I mean, great job, and great acting as well from in fact, it was the son of the owner of the house who played the version of me when the stooge who's got my mask on. It was great fun.
Absolutely.
Next, what do we do next?
Your son. We're off to. It's the Q Watch.
The Q Swatch Watch video, but the opening bit. We did an homage to the meeting between Q for the first time and Daniel Craig in Skyfall at the National Gallery.
Q. And
he's brilliant. He smashes it. He's absolutely spot on. He takes his time when he sits down and he's like looking at the.
It's the way he leans into you.
Yeah, just
and
kind of
I
like.
just love it. He nailed it. He's watched that film a few times, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, he loves that scene in the film, absolutely. So he does know it very well. But I love also the beginning when we have the shot of the National Gallery. You've got the Skyfall, and you found that Skyfall. It's like almost like a harpsichord.
Well, it's a busker on an acoustic guitar. I think it's an Irish girl. We should link to the video.
Yeah, she was brilliant. She was very good.
Beautiful.
But it really works well. But yeah, it's a kind of like a nice little kind of vignette scene between my son and I, which is great for him to have. That kind of like, it's great to have for for posterity. Anyway, let's have a look.
Always makes me feel a bit melancholy. Grand old actor, ignominiously being made to look foolish. The inevitability of staying too long in the franchise. What do you see?
I see a bloody big nose and a bow tie. Excuse me.
009. I'm your new quartermaster.
Oh, you must be joking.
Why? Because I'm not wearing a lab coat?
Because you still have spots.
My complexion is hardly relevant.
Your knowledge of the Connery-era Bond films is.
Age is no guarantee of being able to spot all the Bond film references in No Time to Die.
And youth is no guarantee of understanding that you needed to wait until the end of the credits to know that James Bond will return.
I'll hazard I could do more damage on my laptop sitting in my pyjamas identifying all the plot holes before my first cup of Earl Grey than you could do in a year of Bond film ranting.
So why'd you need me?
Well, every now and again, a pub quiz question has to be answered.
Or not answered. It's difficult to tell which when you're sitting in a pub in your pyjamas. Hugh.
009. Your ticket to the Under the Armours Appreciation Society Christmas party.
Thank you. And this?
The new Q Watch by Swatch.
A swatch? It's not exactly a Seamaster, is it?
Were you expecting an exploding Amiga? Don't really go for that anymore. Well, on to the next film when all the gadgets are back and you can have your exploding watch. Good luck out there in the field. No, I'm serious. There's a bull outside and he looks really hacked off. Oh, and please return the equipment in one piece.
Don't worry, Q. I won't take the piece.
He really nails it. He absolutely nails it. I mean, I have to say thanks again to my son, Jack, for putting us such a stellar performance. I mean, it was great fun to shoot, and it does introduce the Q Watch.
It's got some great lines.
Yeah.
That, or not.
Yeah.
When you're sitting in your pyjamas.
It's
in
difficult
the
to tell
pub.
when you're sitting in your pyjamas, yeah. It's like, and, be careful out there in the field, No, really, there's a bull out there in the field. And it was great.
Good. It was good, and it works well with the two cameras rolling at the same time. Then we can cut between them. We get some really nice of that kind of shallow depth of field
the blurred
shots,
background.
and-
It looks
yeah,
really cool. So good job, mate.
enjoy
Good job.
Enjoy it.
Okay, next up. Oh, it was the three Lazenbys. Again, I keep prodding.
Absolutely. I'd found my way of doing things. Couple of cameras, get the lines right, cuts together really easily. Right, enough of that. Let's challenge you, says Mr.
That's too
Ballard.
easy. Let's get three of me at the same time. Not two, but three separate George Lazenbys.
So I knew that it was possible. That, you know, technically, I knew that within limits it was possible. So I did that little test.
You did a test with just you, doing you and yourself, two of you, but I wanted 3.
Yeah. But we managed. We found a way.
But it was approaching Christmas time, so we had the Christmas tree up. So I thought that the maikake apron that Q wears from in No Time to Die, in the apron in the scene at his flat, I thought that could be a present. But I thought, Christmas tree, what Bond films? Christmas Bond film, obviously, Managed Secret Service, when Lazenby wakes up and Telly Savalas is putting stuff on the Christmas tree. And I thought I could play George Lazenby lying on the,
Sir Hilary Blair.
Sir Hilary Blair. And then, I'm Sir Hilary Blair. And then also, the other 2 Lazenbys, I'm wearing, if you can, eagle-eyed viewers will know the NPL costumes I was wearing, the clothing I was wearing, the sort of ski outfit, the blue ski top with a white turtleneck.
I like that one. That's really nice.
It's cool.
A good colour.
And then the orange turtleneck with the brown kind of the heather-coloured blues on thing. It's just really cool.
With twiddling a little knife.
The knife
in your
as well. 'Cause I was
hand
going to do that
straight out of the James kitchen.
And the calendar as well in September. Unfortunately, it's the only one we've got from the film.
Oh well.
And then we do it at the end as well. It gave us a Christmas message at the end, and it was great. I don't know how you do it, but you edit it so we're all saying Happy Christmas at the same time.
It was tricky, and the challenge was to get the 3 of you to interact with each other and kind of look when you talk and getting the reactions. That it's easy just delivering your lines, but
timing
exactly. And we had a crafty thing of having it playing in your ear,
so I could see
when
so
that you could react to different lines from the different people.
But it's tricky. But we I like to keep upping the ante and put Gavin through the mill to just get that extra kind of like cinematic feel. But I hope that comes across on. It was great fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Merry Christmas, 009. I'm Sir Hilary Blair. No, Mr. Ballard. Your accent's slipping, and so's your fake identity. I think you hit the mulled vespers a little hard last night. There's this ringing, singing in my ears like someone strangling a cat. Where were we partying last night? At the Ana de Armas Appreciation Society Christmas party. Look, why don't you open one of your Christmas presents early? I'll cheer you up. Oh, it's from my foster brother Franz. Franz Oberhauser. Yes, you remember when my parents were tragically killed in that freak climbing accident? Well, Franz and his father took me in. Oh, Franz and I go way back. He really likes me. He's never one to bear a grudge. He loves cats. Look at the wrapping, it's so clever. It's got the stag from Skyfall. Have you tried turning it upside down? Oh, it looks like an octopus. Now that really is clever. Are you going to tell him or shall I? Tell me what. Let's just say his present might blow. Yes, I felt it. It might not be quite what you're expecting. Oh, yes. But Christoph Waltz's great. Yeah, great at doing Woody Allen impersonations.
Speaking of perspective.
Yes. He's not as method as Savalas, who cut off his own earlobes to make himself look more like a count. Pardon? I said count. Oh. Yeah, I'd heard he'd gone completely...
Do you know how Christmas cards are made? They need pictures. Pictures can't complete them, I'm afraid. They need greetings. Greetings say what's in your heart. That's what they are for. But when loved ones are apart...
Oh, he's got me the Japanese apron that Q wears in No Time to Die. When he's in his flat cooking up dinner and then Daniel Craig and Naomi Harris burst in. Oh, it's probably because Franz told me he's cooking me up this Japanese specialty dish called fugu, which is made from pufferfish. It's really tasty apparently and totally not dangerous to eat. Just as long as it's the fish that you eat that disagrees with you rather than you disagreeing with the fish that ate you or something. Oh, whatever. I'm famished. Let's try it on. If you've enjoyed it, please do consider smashing those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't done so already, that is. It really, really does make a big difference. Now, let's take this off and get back to the tree and those damn Lazenbys. Hello, boys. Well, what a year it's been. Oh, they made us wait, but we finally got to see No Time to Die in the cinemas. 2022 should prove to be even more exciting because we've got obviously all the 6th anniversary of Bond on film, all the celebrations and events coming up, so keep it here with us at the Bon Vivant. For now though, may your Blu-ray extras be bountiful with plenty of commentary from Michael G. Wilson and Cary Fukunaga. And may you have a peaceful Christmas day with no speculation as whether it's going to be Tom Hardy or Henry Cavill as the new Bond. And may there be a screen-accurate doo-doo under every Christmas tree. But for now, this has been Blair Ballard and friends for the Bon Vivant, bidding very festive Bondian farewell. Merry Christmas! That is, I've always wanted to have a, footage of me with like 3 of me or 2 of me, but that was, it was great fun to do.
Tricky, but always up for a challenge.
But some great shots. I mean, that opening shot, you really captured that bit when the blur of the Christmas tree and the angel on top of the Christmas tree with the music coming through, and the titles at the beginning.
The gun barrel, because we used the On Her Majesty's Secret Service gun barrel music,
and also
so it changes from one to one.
And
production, Blair Ballard and Gavin K. James present
exactly like Saltzman and Cubby Broccoli. Brilliant. That was great fun to do. And then at the end of the video, we get the chance to do Happy Christmas as well, which is great. Yeah. Made a great Christmas message. That was a good fun to do. And then we're virtually up to date now, aren't we?
We are the most recent one.
Now that was again an epic one. I mean, I'm going through a Lazenby phase at the moment.
Seems to be that way. It happened, didn't it? How did it come about to actually get in touch with Sotheby's and know about the ring and all of that?
Well, there were a couple of alerts on the James Bond forums that the second ring that was made by Charles de Temple for On Her Majesty's Secret Service, the one that Lazenby gives to Diana Rigg as Tracy. And they go window shopping for it and so on and so forth. It was coming up for auction. One had sold back in 2019.
For a handsome sum of money.
50+ thousand pounds. And then the second one, the only other one in existence, was coming up. So I got in touch with Sotheby's and said, look, is there any chance we can have a look at it? And they were going, we'll have to talk to the guys at the top. And eventually they said, yeah, absolutely wonderful, which is brilliant. And so, but when we turned up to Sotheby's on the day, they go, you're in luck because the ring that was sold back in 2019, the guy hasn't even picked it up yet. And so they said we can do a piece on both of them. And that was brilliant. So we got the only 2 Bond rings in existence in my hand, holding them. It was like...
So how were we going to introduce that?
Well,
that was the question really for the PTS on this one.
And that was, because I love doing the scripts and trying to borrow bits from the original script and then reimagining them. And what we did was, I kind of thought, okay, we knew that Bond had a meeting with Draco and he talks about, you normally have Corsican brandy, you haven't Campari, you haven't... So I thought, okay, he's my future father-in-law. I'm going to buy him a bottle of Corsican brandy for his birthday, but I'm also going to look for a wedding ring. But we shot...
So I think I said, hey, we're going to be in London. Why don't we shoot it with the MI5 building? MI6 building. Behind you, let's go to Vauxhall Bridge.
Yeah.
That won't be a problem.
No, not at all. Now, they also had some cranes and stuff. So it looked, I kind of, in my mind, I thought, okay, it looks like they rebuilt SIS after the explosion in Skyfall, which I thought was quite fun. But yeah, now, obviously, it's a secret building. Everyone knows what it is. You can see it there. You walk past it every day. But filming outside it is is a bit of a no-no. Now, we managed to do all the filming, and it was the beginning bit of the film where we're actually doing the window shopping. We shot first.
Yeah.
And then we shot the bit on Vauxhall Bridge, outside Vauxhall Cross. last, and by that time of day it got a bit cold and a bit overcast. But we managed to get it all in the can, all filmed, and we were just literally walking back to the car park to go and pick up the car when these police vans all turned up.
Well, so one turns up, and
Yeah.
we kind of ignored it and carried on
And he
walking.
kind of like
Excuse me,
"Excuse
sir,"
me,
from
sir.
behind us. The Brixton Constabulary wanted
Yeah.
to inquire what we were doing. As they were talking, another van turns up,
Yeah.
2 policemen get out, and then another van turns up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we had a chat to them, and they were Bond fans, and they kind of like got what we told them. They're going to become subscribers. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Click those notifications so you get notified
Like
when
and
the next
subscribe.
like and subscribe, like and subscribe. But yeah, do that now. Do it. Do it now. Because these policemen, they were so nice afterwards. They go, yeah, we're Bond fans. We totally get it. Just gotta be careful because terrorism threats and so on and so forth. But they said we'll watch the videos and we'll subscribe as well. So anyway, enjoy, and we'll have a chat afterwards. See you in a bit.
Ah, 009, I finally got a location fix on you. Remember, I told you that I was relieving you from Operation Bedlam.
But Sir, Kropotkin's a bit of a must with me.
You've had 2 years to run him down.
Does this mean you've lost confidence in me?
I'm well aware of your talents, 009, but a license to kill is useless unless one can set up a target. I'll find you a more suitable assignment, that's all.
I asked Moneypenny to take a memo and had the honour to request my resignation from Her Majesty's Secret Service, effective forthwith.
Yes, I saw the memo and granted you 2 weeks' leave.
I heard you were running a very tight ship today. I wasn't expecting a knighthood. So I've just popped out to buy my future father-in-law some Corsican brandy for his birthday.
So you're still pursuing the Countess?
Yes, Mark-Ange Drago told me some of his men had recently defected to Kropotkin, and he'd tell his future son-in-law Kropotkin's current location. I'd assumed he'd reassign me.
Really?
Yes, he said it'd be a pleasure to meet the man who cost him 3 of his best operatives.
Yes, the 1964 bullion job. He made off with quite a chunk of that haul. And Ballard, Q Branch would like to see you.
Tell Q this time I've got the gadgets and I know how to use them. Now, why don't you get back to your lepidoptery and your unusually small Nymphalis polychloris? I've got some birthday brandy to buy. And a wedding ring. Can I see that one, please?
Of course. There you go, sir.
It's perfect. I'll take it.
I love shooting that one. That was great. It was so much fun walking around the streets. I was worried that filming the close-ups of jewellery and the shop windows on Bond Street, surely somebody was going to come out.
They've got
and tell
some
us
very
to stop.
scary bouncers, you know, security guys, you know, special forces guys on the doors there. But everyone was really cool. And
we got the shots, didn't
and
we?
the guys at the guys at Sotheby's were brilliant as well. What nice folks there. They were so accommodating. Could not be more helpful and more sort of, you know, welcoming.
But that's what we find every time, isn't it? That people love us coming to visit.
And especially the Bond connections.
Yeah,
I think that really does, you know, does help people really have a soft spot for James Bond and the franchise itself.
It's true.
But that was great fun. I mean, I loved little nods as well. I mean, when we were shooting in on Bond Street, we got the new Bond and old Bond. I thought that was quite nice on the signs, but also some of the shops I insisted we filmed outside.
Yeah.
Like Tiffany's. It's not the best shop anymore, unfortunately, in London. I'm sure it's different in New York, but in you know, Tiffany's, obviously there's a link there for Tiffany Case from Diamonds Are Forever, and also Van Cleef and Arpels. You know, thank goodness you weren't Bond and Van Cleef and Arpels or whatever. You know, that was, you know, I wanted to get that in there. That was great fun to do. And thank goodness the weather was good enough for us to go and do that.
It was beautiful for that early bit. The window shopping was great. It got a little bit English, should we say, on the bridge, but we survived.
But I wanted to do the kind of like the window shopping bit as an echo to the scene, obviously on a Manchester Secret Service, in the sort of when they're the romance scene where they're window shopping.
Yeah.
And they go to the Joalheria Ferraria de Marques in the Praça de Dom Pedro in Lisboa. Yeah, and I can't help myself. I'm a linguist, cunning linguist. You know, a bit like Brosnan. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. If you have enjoyed these videos and any of the other videos, we'll put the links down below so you can check them out. If you've enjoyed them, please do consider hitting that like and those subscribe buttons and turning on notifications so that you can get alerted when the next video drops. We've got a few coming up.
Next video. What challenge are you going to throw on my plate?
But it's going to be a good one. It's seriously. It's we're filming it in a couple of weeks' time, but it's going to be absolutely unmissable. But for now, this has been
Gavin James
and Blair Ballard for the Bon Vivant, bidding you all a very Bondian farewell. Stay safe, friends. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please do consider smashing those like and subscribe buttons. Do turn on notifications so you know when the next video drops. Also, leave some comments down below as to any videos you'd like to see in the future. But for now, stay safe, friends. We'll see you next time.